Cadrega Mode, Penita's layout that was finished by Gaiden Hurtney's TC team, has been verified by EroGamer after about 11,000 attempts. Cadrega Mode is the second Cadrega level Penita has made, with the first being Cadrega City, a level that was verified by Sonics and even now sits in the top 10. Both Cadrega levels have taken inspiration from other levels in GD. Cadrega City was inspired by Kurumi City, and this level was inspired by Carnage Mode, by Findexy and others. This time, however, Penita outsourced the project. Some of the biggest creating teams at the moment, e.g. the APTeam, Mindcaps, Familiars and the Curse team, are all reaping the rewards of being selected to complete and decorate layouts from popular creators, uploading them onto their team accounts, and this time TC team were the ones who got selected. As a result, the level was finished pretty fast given the rate of Extreme Demons building and completion nowadays, and it became ready for verification just under 2 months ago. It was originally meant to be verified by Camelot, who claimed it could actually place within the top 15, but the eventual verifier, and indeed Penita himself, did not see that to be the case. That being said, Cadrega Mode is still an extreme demon, and given EroGamer is flying through the likes of Infernal Abyss and Audio Expulsion, a level that takes him 11,000 attempts is not to be underestimated. He has refused to give us a difficulty estimate, instead urging people to go and play it themselves, but this will most likely be rated and will place in the top 50. This is a unique and interesting mega collab, and it will be interesting to see how the players take it on in their stride and how much they struggle. Cadrega Mode is out now, and as stated by Ero, you should go and play it. An interesting project has been released recently with Zylenox, the creator of numerous former Impossible Demon remakes such as The Big Black and End of the World, having verified the forgotten, super buffed version of Killbot, which was set to be verified by Antares. Killbot was a level that started to gain some hype in the second half of 2017 and had some uncertainty over verifiers. Obviously, we know the eventual verifier who released it was Boldstep, but Antares was the official verifier of this for a decent amount of time before he had to drop it due to school. During his ownership of the level, he buffed it to make it a super extreme, barely impossible challenge, which Boldstep then reversed under the premise that it wasn't meant to be that extreme in the first place. Well, Zylenox has picked up where Antares left off, finishing off the absolute beast of the forgotten level in 38,000 attempts. This goes on top of a number of notable memory demon victories for him, and with his obvious talent in creating, perhaps we should consider that Zylenox is one of GD's silent best players. Obviously, the super buff version isn't an update to the actual level and so won't be rated, but this is still a great trophy for Zylenox to have under his belt. Unnerfed Killbot is out now, and you should go and give it a try if you're absolutely mental, to be honest. The current best player in the world, DiamondSplash, has verified a new insane extreme demon called Epsilon by Team Proxima. The Mega Collab, featuring Penita, Bionox, Squirrel and Failure among others, is a very unique and interesting level. Whilst not being too extreme, some of the decoration is cool and the song is a nice touch too. The level combines wave skill, timing, duels, and generally has quite a diverse range of gameplay styles without being too disjointed. This is a nice achievement for DiamondSplash, whose infrequent activity is the last spark in the earlier 2018 quadrat of Sonics, Scallo, Diamond and Wuxi as the world's best. This is also Team Proxima's first Mega Collab, and if the standard is replicated into more, then we could expect a new, pretty well respected team from them. Epsilon is out now, and despite being on the verge of an extreme demon, is probably a lot more accessible to the common player than most of the top 50, so go and give it a try. Xgetity has announced the sequel for the current number 2 demon Spacial Rend on his channel, along with a creator contest to help build the level. Spacial Rend is an incredibly relevant level for its uncertain yet extreme difficulty, after being verified by DiamondSplash at Christmas and taking a while to get rated. After this, it breached the top 10 just about, but the early victors talked up its difficulty, including Krazen, who believed it was probably the hardest thing on the list. This then led to it breaking up the controversial duo at the top of the list being Bloodlust and Plasma Pulse Finale, a debate that had been ongoing since March. Well, it's evident that this level caused a big splash, so we can probably expect some interesting gameplay and follow-on events from the verification of this one. Xgetity will now deliver the sequel on behalf of Eclipse, who has hosted both Spacial Rend and Arctic Arena. We know hardly anything about it yet, and the creator contest seems like it might be deliberately vague, so to keep people as creative as possible. But entries, which are due in just under 2 weeks' time, must be space themed. Spacial Rend, as Mega Collabs go, was much more of a community-based collab, so if you feel like you want to try your hand in the big league of GD but are fairly unnoticed, then this may be the perfect opportunity for you. Waivve, one of GD's new generation of extremely skilled players, has regrettably had to quit GD again for the same reasons that were initially withheld last time. Despite enjoying the game and slaying demons at a great pace, Waivve's parents were less than approving of his GD career, so have been very restricting in how much time he can spend at his PC. However, this time around there is also an element of lost motivation, as we are seeing with both old and new skilled players. RobTop, please, for the love of God, fix your damn game. This leaves a few of his projects up in the air, the main one being Quicksand, a desert-themed mega collab that was incredibly well received when it was first previewed. This will now be verified by Npesta, a player flying through the Demons and GD headlines at the moment, and despite having a lot of projects, one being Demos, on his plate, he has claimed that Quicksand will be a priority, and for good reason, as the level is excellent. As for Waivve, well, there's a lot less hope of him coming back this time, meaning Breakout Redux was his final big achievement. It's sad really, but Npesta has been stepping up to the table recently, along with Technical and Diamond, to carry this community from both a playing and administrative perspective. After almost a year and a half since the level first went viral, Knobbelboy has uploaded the first progress video of his crowning achievement. God Eater was planned and unveiled in the first half of 2017 and quickly turned into Black Blizzard 2.0 when its montages were harvested by the greedy portion of the community. However, it soon went dormant for a while whilst Knobbelboy continued Bloodlust among unveiling numerous other projects, and just before New Year 2018, the third preview was hurried forward after a copyable was leaked. Knobbelboy spent the first half of 2018, particularly after Bloodlust, attempting to overcome artistic blocks and finish it, and a few months ago it was finally completed. It has evolved. The initial eye and the spinning wheel, which became such iconic parts of the level, now stand up against a lot of other great parts and art aspects. The level will now go alongside Woodkid as one of the most sensational levels ever to be released. Knobbelboy recently posted 35% progress, and the level isn't as hard as some of the other things he's verified, and since dropping Photovoltaic 2 it has come to be his main priority, so we shouldn't have to wait much longer for the level, which is not too far away from rivaling Bloodlust in waiting time. Sonic Wave Infinity is finally up and running again, as the APTeam has set to work in building their own version of the now departed Riot's 2016 Sonic Wave restoration project. Sonic Wave Infinity has been in waiting for so long and was one of the original rebirths to kick off the trend in April 2016. Well, this was initially meant to be a barely buffed version but with better decoration before it was super buffed, and then Riot retired from the game at the end of 2016. The eventual verifier became Sonix, who spent a large part of 2017 buffing it so he could integrate it with 2.1 a bit. Eventually the level had been upscaled so much that the original aesthetic was compromised, as Sonix was moving in and out of activity. After the Apocalyptic trilogy was finished, Riot, shortly before his departure, enlisted their help to remake the level, and it's had a very fresh upgrade. At over 120,000 objects already, it's incredibly hefty, but the early signs of the Waivve parts look very promising. Hopefully the team can push this forward and get it finished, and a new verifier may need to be chosen, but that will be up to Sonix and whether he wants to come back to it. But generally, this is a very exciting project. Let's hope this restart will be the last one. KugelBlitz, the long-standing official verifier of Death Corridor's agreed version to be rated, has finally surfaced after 2 months with more news of his finalised version and plan verification. He explained in his preview that he will no longer be verifying the finale version by Airswipe, as Airswipe said he wanted their level to die, probably due to all the trouble it caused in 2017 and early parts of this year. And so, Kugel and Chaotic enlisted a team of creators and remade that version to make their new version, which mixes quite a lot of new styles and colour variants into the X black and white level. Kugel also announced that all other versions, including Death Corridor Z and Death Corridor Redux, will now no longer be rated, and that both have talked to RobTop about this. Despite the seemingly endless waiting time for Death Corridor, Kugel said that he will verify this soon, and that it would have already been done if not for his IRL commitments. So, it will be very interesting to see the final version of this verified, and Death Corridor's legacy can be put to bed once and for all. Cinci has returned to GD after a long break and is now restarting his progress on Innards. Innards was set around January to be the hardest demon and one of the biggest releases ever, but numerous factors, including an attempted level steal by Epsilon, caused him to lose motivation as well as not have the time. Nonetheless, he's back now and has proved as such with a great run of 64 to 100 on the unnerfed version. Hopefully we can see some more progress, especially new runs on the first half of the level uploaded soon. Even despite me being away for a while, not much has happened on the list anyhow. That being said, however, Zafkill has been restored to 8th after initially being removed below Devil Vortex a few weeks ago. The number 10 is still Cadrega City, which was set to be moved down after Victors and Far Progress Makers found it too easy in the top 10, but it still appears to be holding firm. Further down, Black Blizzard is up to 27th, one place behind Hatred, and Subsonic has taken a tumble down to 29th. At the foot of the table, Aurora is up to 49th, and Downbase is still the 50th. Chronicle Depression will also be out of the list soon, insane to think given its stature in 2016, and this will be followed by Bloodbath. The new number 100 is Necropolex, Truster's most recent verification project for the list, and the Ultimate Phase is looking to join Ice Carbon Diablo X on the Legacy list in 95th, with Cataclysm a stone's throw away in 85th. The stats viewer is much the same, but with Waivve quitting this week, it won't take technical long to pass him and reach 5th place.